Hello. Strikes me that I'm going to be reading this book, The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich by William L. Schreier, for the next little while. It is a long ass book, and I'll probably be reading chapter and a half a chapter maybe a day, and it's going to take me a while. It's going to take me a good while. So I figured I should stop and maybe give a couple of little brief impressions as I go along. This was published in 1959. William L. Shire is a was a journalist and a historian. He started reporting on Nazi Germany on Germany in 1925. So pre the Nazis rising to power. So was very much somebody who was around. This is a contemporaneous um, historian's point of view of the thing. Is considered a classic, one of these foundational works. Very much it is starting with, it's starting with Germany, and it's starting with Adolf Hitler and the particular conditions that were around that allowed this failed artist, this angry young guy who had a couple of talents. He was a great orator, and he was a ruthless politician who, at least as William L. Schreier sees it, was very shrewd in how he maneuvered the many right-wing groups that were fomenting in Germany and the great resentments post World War One and the peace that the Germany was forced to take. There wasn't really an option. If they hadn't taken it, they would have just been reinvaded and been taken down. And indeed, it seems to be, as Schreier sees it, as he presents it, as very much that the German army, very much kind of the old guard officer class, were the ones who said we need to take this piece to protect ourselves, because if they didn't take it, there was risking of the army being completely taken apart. And indeed, after they accepted this peace treaty, it seems that a lot of the provisions in it for against the army were largely ignored. It's one of these things that you can't help but look around at our times now and think about how many parallels you can see. Very much that I'm up to I've finished chapter 3, where there's been a putsch, the famous putsch where Hitler is failed putsch by the Hitler and other right-wing groups with Hitler at the lead, and he is convicted of treason, which theoretically, with the laws in the book, should have meant he would be in prison for the rest of his life. But that is kind of key to the atmosphere of the time. Yes, if you were a left-wing radical doing nasty stuff, you would get the full force of the law thrown at you. But Hitler, being on the right, no, he was allowed to speechify. The trial became a great platform that shot him to national and international notice, where he was able to put forward his views and become kind of a national hero as a result, and was sentenced to 5 years in prison instead of a lifetime sentence. And indeed, he was out after a mere less than 9 months, which he used to write his book Mein Kampf, which we're apparently going to get to in the next chapter. But very much this feeling of, when I look at the States, of somewhere where right wing, if you're on the right, you're getting handled with kind of kid gloves. There has been a failed putsch in the United States, where on January 6th, the right wing forces tried to storm the Capitol, the Senate, and murder and overturn a democratic election. And very much this is something where, yes, maybe some of the lower downs are getting persecuted, but there isn't much of hope that the head of it, Donald Trump, is going to get persecuted. And it's probably the most tired thing in the world is to compare somebody you don't like to the Nazis. But definitely get that feeling of fragmentation, of there's a great lie. In Hitler's case, it was the idea of that Germany was stabbed in the back in taking this, and they blaming the socialist politicians when it's actually probably the army that was the ones who said, like, no, we can't, we're done, we're defeated. But they quickly wiggled out of that, and it became something to blame the politicians on, that Germany was somehow betrayed. A lot of this just free floating anger, which Hitler came along and focused. And you can't help but look at a lot of actors in somewhere like the United States or in Canada, where there's a lot of free floating anger, and they're just looking for somewhere to focus it on. And rather unscrupulous people are finding places that are advantageous for them to focus it upon. Yeah, Hitler comes off as an idiot, as one of these, violent, ruthless, unprincipled prick who does believe all of his anti-Semitic bullshit, and that this is somebody who, people can see right from the beginning exactly how bad he would be, but is also ruthless and also great at moving a lot of people who, just fall under that spell, want to believe. He's great at exploiting all that. So yeah, that's my initial thoughts of the rise and fall of the Third Reich. Yeah, yeah. Be a lot more reading to happen. I think I will probably dole it out to myself. It's one of these books that I don't think I could stomach just reading only it. I will mix it with other stuff. I'm off at the moment, so I can get a little bit more reading done than I can usually, which is a good way to get deep into a book. I hadn't intended to pick it up, but I don't know. It's one of those things that at the moment it seems like a good thing to read about. So it seems like something good to kind of refresh my education on that. I kind of knew about it before, but to kind of refresh my education on this. There's some ways that we have so much, we're improving so much, but you just see these kind of dark clouds closing in and, consuming large hunks of the population. And you can see where this is the primo example of it happening before. And I mean, it's going to happen in different ways, and I should respect Germany at this time is a different place than what we are now, with different tools, but there's also just that human nature that you can see, and how that applies. All right, I've been Jay. More videos later.